Okay, I'm gonna try this again so that hopefully I can get it right. It's taken a few tries here, but here we are. I am used to being alone. I was married for 20 years, but I've been on my own for almost 2 years. In a few months, it'll be 2 whole years. So to have been with someone for almost half of my lifespan uh, is it's significant change enough just to move out. Um, but when things inevitably happen uh, that are that you're used to dealing with your spouse, um, it's really really upsetting when you kind of connect with that and remember that and you don't have that little that person, that bit of support that you might need. The reason I say this is because a few nights back I woke up after I gotten a couple of hours of sleep, but I woke up screaming loudly. Like it wasn't a sleep, "Whoa," like whimper like you might do when you're sleeping. No, this was a full-on scream. That doesn't typically happen. If I have a bad dream, it's usually just I wake up and I'm like, oh, that was a bad dream. No, this one was one of those like deeply distressing and emotional dreams. And it's one of those kind that feels real when you wake up, like you really think it's happening to you. And I was further distressed by it because I didn't have another person there in the bed like I've had for 20 years. Whenever I had a nightmare or whenever my husband had a nightmare, I you know we would do this, or like rub each other, like rub a back, or like somewhere like that, to just kind of and kind of wiggle around like this, just to kind of comfort, like you do for a baby. Just shh, it's okay. Um, it sounds really silly to put it into words, but that would always comfort the other person and they would go back to sleep. But when you don't have that anymore and all you got is an empty bed and an empty room, it's harder to recover from that, especially if it was particularly distressing in this dream. And it was in this case. And I inevitably did go back to bed. It just took some kind of convincing to do that. I was of two minds. I was like, well, it was just a bad dream. That's this mind telling me that. It was just a bad dream, chill out. And then this other mind is over here being like, you're all alone. Be scared. I know that's, why am I doing hand puppets? I don't know. But 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 that was what was going on. It was like being a kid. And I don't know. It took some serious time to finally be able to relax enough to go back to sleep and be like, relax, it's just a dream, chill out, holy cow. Thankfully it doesn't happen all that often, because man, that would be exhausting if it did. But what's of even greater kind of interest, I think, is that you remember there's a video about it with the thumbnail that says, "That's not how you cook pasta." Um, I was talking about that old friend that I have who, whose mom passed away very recently. About a month ago, she died. And I haven't spoken to him in quite some time. And I had this nightmare. And when I went and grabbed my phone when I was ready to wake up for real, after that nightmare, boink, a push notification showed up. And it was from that person that I haven't spoken to in such a long time. These things happen, and it's very interesting when they do, because society says, it's a coincidence. Kind of like that mind that I was talking about a minute ago. It was just a dream, relax. It's just a push notification, relax. But no, there's always more to it than that. And I don't know, I just thought I would share that kind of made me feel almost a little better about having had the bad dream in the first place, because clearly I was distressed, or am a little bit, and falling into a depression a little bit. This nightmare happened right after an appointment with the psychiatrist, and he increased my medication, one of them, and I went ahead and had this nightmare. And just yesterday, I had a follow-up appointment with the doctor, and I told him this story, and he was just like, yeah, 'cause you're processing a lot of things, and he knows that intuitively. And I'm like, I know he knows. But it makes it a little bit more purposeful, or as though it has meaning, when something like that happens, I guess. Anyway, that's, I guess, my way of saying that, yeah, I do have depression. It's a problem. It's getting worse rather than better. I think it's getting a little bit worse for the moment. I don't think it'll stay this way. I hope it doesn't stay this way for very long. But it it's because I'm stressed out, honestly, that I'm kind of in a weird place with my work. I'm kind of really wanting to stop. This job that I have, it is a difficult job, and it is very demanding, and it's very possessive of my life, my whole life. That's why I go to sleep on my days off. I go to sleep at 1 or 2 in the morning. When I get home from a regular work day, I don't get to bed until about 4:30 in the morning. You see, so I sleep in like all day. So it's hard to keep a regular life when you've got those kind of hours. At least for me, I find it a challenge. So that affects mood. And I would like to do something meaningful with my time, rather than being there making hundreds of muffins every night, and dozens of scones and cookies by the rack and roll load. Like, I like doing the work, I don't mind it, but I would really rather do something else that has more substance rather than just make muffins that coffee houses sell every day. It's just muffins that people eat, you know? It feels good to make people happy with what food you make, but it's also somewhat trivial and thankless. So I wouldn't mind being able to step away from it, but I don't have any other prospects. So it leaves me feeling stuck, and that's why I had this dream about being stuck. So what you could do, if you were so inclined, is watch other videos that I've made, or subscribe, or both. Leave comments and share every now and then. That would be really cool, and then I can get into more types of revenue streams through doing this, so that I can step away from this job. I like the people, the work is fine, but I'm really wanting it to be a thing of the past. I've been cooking in kitchens now for not very long, about 4 years, but the strain is real on the body. Even after 4 years, there's a difference in all of this. And I don't want to sacrifice my body for virtually no pay and no employment kind of protections or anything like that, and yet be subjected to more and more increased demand, because business must grow, you know. As that character said, I forget what was he a Onceler? It's a Dr. Seuss thing. The guy with the thneeds. Everybody needs a thneed. Business must grow, you know. I don't want to be somebody's workhorse anymore. It feels like it's really not meant for me. So that's what you could do, is help me get out of that by spending a little time with me every now and again, and who knows. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, there's the subscription button up there, there's a video down there that you can go ahead and watch, and I thank you. I'll see you later.